Hi class, Professor McGuire here. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to go over some of the expectations for lesson plan number 2. So let me go ahead and do a share screen and we'll get started. All righty, so lesson plan number 2 is about integrating literature and technology. So what you're going to do is just continue with the lesson plan that you began with. So lesson plan number 2 should just flow from lesson plan number 1. Again, what you're doing now is you're integrating technology into the literature or into some of your lessons. So you will obviously be continuing with the same book or the text that you started with, and you'll submit it as a single document. So what I'll see is the completed lesson plan number 1, and then this lesson will flow from that. Lesson plan 3 and 4 will be blank. It's the exact same structure as lesson plan number 1. So you just fill out that top information part, put the text in there, the grade level. Just leave the lesson plan number 2 where it says number 2 of 4, focusing on literature and technology. With your standards, put the standards in that you plan to cover in this lesson. And if you're Arizona, you can use those PDFs there. If you're out of state, just use the reading or literature standards from your state. Leave the differentiated instruction as is, and then just work on those mini lessons. So mini lesson 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can think of that like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Remember from lesson plan number 1, objectives are measurable. Put in the page range that you expect to read. Now, a little tip, if it ends up that you think like this lesson might take a couple of days to complete, you could put in the page range and then you could say, this lesson will take 2 to 3 days to complete. That's another way to kind of buffer in case you think it's going to take longer than the 16 lessons total for this unit. And then you just continue on with how you plan to teach the lesson, what you plan to have the students do, how you assess for their understanding, and any of the resources that you would be needing. The reflective paragraph will be focused more on technology, obviously. All right, so some of the technology ideas that I found, and this is by no means comprehensive, you can Google, but here are some things. Online annotations. So this one is from Scribble. Then there's formative assessments through Edpuzzle. Audiobooks are real big. So if you can find an audio reading of the book that you've chosen, for example, Sissy Spacek reads To Kill a Mockingbird. One of the ones that I absolutely love is called Storyboard That. And I have my students do this, and I would even suggest that you all do this right now. It is such a fun way to use technology. So go to storyboardthat.com. And then I tell my students that they need to create one scene from the chapter that we just read. And that scene must include a scene, and I'll show you what that means, kind of like the background, the characters, and a speech bubble. And so this is where they can take something important from the text. So for example, I've got a scene from To Kill a Mockingbird with Atticus and Jem and Scout, and I've got the speech bubble with Atticus saying, shoot all the blue jays you want if you can hit them, but remember, it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. Then what I would have my students do is take a screenshot of that, and then they submit it via whatever learning management system you would have, maybe Google Classroom or Canva, that kind of thing. Or yeah, Canvas, I think it's called. All right, so let's go look at Storyboard That. So hang on, let's see, it looks like this. And what you do is, want to make sure that this screen is showing. All right. So you go to storyboardthat.com and then you click on create a storyboard. And what comes up is a blank screen. It's kind of like a graphic novel. So there's like 1, 2, or 3 panels. I always just have my students do one. And if you look across the top, this is where you have some options. So I would start with maybe the scene, and then you can even do like, is it entertainment? And they have all these different scenes that you can choose from. You can do indoor. You can do outdoor, school, transportation. You see how this goes. Historical, country, rustic. So for example, I chose outdoor, and then you just do a click and drag. And now what I've got is my scene. So then what I do is you go to characters and you have some options. You've got adults, teens, kids, jobs, sports, 1900s, 1600s to 1800s. You see how this goes. So maybe I want to start with my main character, Atticus. So I'm going to pick this guy right here. He's an adult. And what's nice is now you have options. So I could do his hair a darker color, pick a skin color. I can change his eyes to a specific color. I could make his shirt whatever color I want it to be. Pants, maybe I'll just leave, and maybe I'll do the shoes lighter. You can change the face. So there's lots of options that you can see here for your students. The hair can be changed, face. I'll probably just keep it like this. You can move arms. You can have the legs doing different things. I think I'll do sitting just because I'm going to have him in a rocking chair. So I can update the pose. And then what you do is you just click and drag like this. I'm going to maybe make him a little bit bigger, taller because he's a grown man. Maybe make it a little wider, pop him up here a little bit. So you get the idea. So then maybe I want to move to the kids, and I'm going to pick this little girl to be my scout. So I'm going to click her and drag her here. I'm going to have her in the middle. And again, I can edit the pose. Maybe I want her to have brown hair. Perhaps I want her shirt to be a green shirt. I kind of like her with her little pants like that. She's kind of a precarious little girl, so maybe I'll have her like this. And let's say I decide that, oh, I want her like her hand posed a different way. So I can go back, I can edit that, and I can say, oh, I think I want her left arm to be up so that it's near Atticus. And I'm going to update the pose. There we go. And then maybe I'm going to go to the teen, and I'm going to pick Jem. So you can kind of look, this just looks like a basic guy. Pardon me. And maybe I'll have him kind of facing a little bit left because he's in the other rocking chair. And I'm going to have him sitting because he'll be in that rocking chair. Can make him a little bit bigger if I want, because he's a little bit of a bigger guy than his sister. The other thing is you can go with items. So this is where you can find a few different things. So this is where I picked up like little plants. So for example, maybe I want like a little weed growing on the front porch. Click save. Just click out of that. And you can make these things smaller, bigger, whatever you want. Maybe I have this little sunflower growing up out of here too. Make that a little bit smaller. You get the idea. So you can kind of see how this is just a really, really fun thing to do. Okay, then I want to do my speech bubble. And you've got some options that you can choose from. So you can even do like a thinking speech bubble or the speaking speech bubbles. I think I'll do this one because it's Atticus that I want talking. And then you can make it smaller. Okay. It's a sin to kill a mockingbird. So there we go. And then you have something like that. So then you just tell your students to take a screenshot. Boom. You can save it if you'd like to. Anyway, I hope that gives you guys some ideas of how storyboard that works. Again, I think it's just such a fun activity. You're more than welcome to use that in your lesson planning if you'd like to. And then finally, just refer to the exemplar in Halo. And if you've got any questions, feel free to private message me. I hope you have fun continuing with lesson plan number 2 and integrating some form of technology into your lesson planning. All right. I look forward to seeing the continuation of your benchmark unit. Have a good day. Bye-bye.